I just want to say, like, when they came out the first one, I think we were enthralled by it because, like, can they really pull off an Ant-Man movie?
Exactly.
And they absolutely did. Even when they lost Edgar Wright, I thought they did. But they did. They pulled it off. So this one, when you walk in, I was excited. First of all, it's Marvel. But it's can they make it better? Mm-hmm. Yes.
They can. They can. And the thing about Ant-Man that we all have to remember is that Ant-Man was made during Marvel's bad villain phase.
Yeah. Yep.
They're pretty good with villains right now, but that was during the bad villain phase.
Yeah, for sure.
And that movie still really worked. And it wasn't just full points for pulling it off. It was actually very good.
Very good. The final scene was hilarious. The whole movie was funny.
Yep.
So this time around, speaking of, last time we did see Ant-Man was in Civil War.
You're right.
And so if you remember the airplane or the airport sequence, he went big, he passed out. The last thing he says is anybody have orange slices, and then we saw him in the prison, and then Cap broke everybody out.
Right.
Spoiler alert, you had years to see it.
Yeah, please.
So now he's dealing with the ramifications of what he did, and because he used Hank Pym's technology, they're looking for him and his daughter, and they're on the run, Evangeline Lilly and Michael Douglas, and it's Hope.
The Pym Van Dyne family is on the run, and Scott...
They're not happy.
Right, and Scott's on house arrest. He wasn't willing to go on the run because he wanted to be close to his daughter.
So this one gets a little, I'd say, mystical in the sense, because so we start dealing with the quantum realm that he went in the first one, and he basically connected with
Janet.
With Janet Van Dyne.
The original Wasp.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Right.
And so he has this connection. She's still alive. We need to go get her.
Yeah.
So that's our movie, really.
That really is the gist of the movie. That's the most important thing.
Speaking of villains, then we have Ghost, who is a decent villain. They try to make you feel bad for it, but still not quite there yet.
There's actually two villains in this movie. Walton Goggins is one, and Ghost is another.
Goggins is barely in it, though.
Well, she's barely in it, really.
That's true, too.
I mean, they're meant just to be distractions, keeping the team from dealing with this quantum realm thing.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
I can see that.
I don't see them as proper villains. The villain is time and the quantum realm.
And getting her back. I mean, it's a rescue movie.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think the other two are really just sort of sub-villains.
Yeah.
Although I love Hannah John Kamen. If you're a fan of Killjoys, it's a sci-fi show.
Yeah, I heard
Wonderful. That. She's really good. She does a lot with what they give her. And Goggins.
I mean, Goggins.
I've said it on the show. The best teeth in Hollywood. The guy is always good.
He's good.
He's always
when
good.
I say how do you make it better, what I loved about this movie, it's funnier in my opinion.
Agreed.
Because, and Michael Pena steals the show again, but it's funny in the sense because they tinker with the technology more.
Right.
You've seen it in the commercials and the trailers, the cars expand, the building goes up and down, but they play with that. I'm not going to say there's a scene where he goes to a school, and what happens with that is hilarious, because let's just say the technology isn't quite perfected.
They take some things that Deadpool just hints at and make entire set pieces out of them.
But I want to give her credit where credit's due. It's Evangeline Lilly, and she stole the show. I know it's called Ant-Man the Wasp. A lot of my friends said it should be called The Wasp and Ant-Man.
I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I've seen that in other reviews that she should get top billing.
She gets more action in it. Her action sequences are fantastic.
Her fight choreography is bananas.
It's awesome.
It's really
in the car
great.
scene in the kitchen, back in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It is amazing, and he gets his, in there too. But I think she stole it.
She's apparently going to be pretty important in Avengers 4, which I'm glad to hear. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, she's done some interviews where she talks about how good she connects with Brie Larson's character, Captain Marvel. And I think that could be really cool.
Nice.
We need the ladies to save the day. There's no doubt about it.
I've said it. If they do this,
have failed.
In Avengers 4, if the Wasp flies into Thanos' ear and expands, it just blows it off.
Exactly.
I'm all for it.
She's great in this.
I loved it. I really can't think anything wrong with it. The villain's not quite there yet. And there's a little distraction, so I don't think it's perfect. I'm at 3.5. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's Marvel. It's definitely not a fail.
3.5. So. I'm with you. It's one of the funniest Marvel movies yet.
Go see it. Go see all the Marvel movies if you can. And one day go to the theater, see Infinity War if it's still there. Go see Deadpool, and now go see Ant-Man the Wasp.
If you've been avoiding Ant-Man because you don't think it's important in the sort of canon, you're wrong. Go see these movies.
There you have it. 3.5 stars here. 3.5 stars for Ant-Man and the Wasp. That'll do it for this episode of Big Movie Mouth Off. Next week, interviews with the cast of Hotel Transylvania.
Jimmy's been traveling.
I've been gone for a while.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.